Hello, everybody. SandyC here once again with my favorite title agent, Stephanie.
Yay.
Express Title Services of Tampa. Anyways, I have been getting calls from many of you about double closings, especially those that try to get into wholesaling real estate. I've been getting calls. People are confused about, so what happens? They understand part of the process, but then when it comes to double closing, they're like, well, Sandy, what's the process? How exactly do you do a double closing? So Stephanie is here. She's going to break that down for you. She's the title agent. I've been dealing with her for a long time now. We've done plenty of deals together. So I'm going to give Stephanie the mic, the invisible mic.
The invisible mic. The first thing I would say is really know the A to B title company, because more than likely you're buying the properties from the REO, and you really need to know and be able to deal with that title company that you're getting the properties from.
Right.
And I have to be in constant contact with that title company so I can make sure I have all my documents, because I have to have all the A to B stuff before I can close the B to C stuff.
Right.
And that can all be done in one day, which
and a lot of people are confused about well, how can you do that in one day? See, some people there are several title companies out there. You have to be careful who you choose, because there are some title companies, they don't understand the process. That's why you have to choose one that knows what they're doing. Because one of the important things is if you're doing a double closing, you're buying a property from a bank or whoever you're buying it from, well, that deed is going to have to be recorded first before the deed that you're selling to anybody gets recorded. Otherwise, it's a big mess, okay?
Absolutely. And that's why I stay in contact with that first title company that has to do with the REO for the REO property. I stay in contact with the person that I get the closing package from, which I usually do all Sandy's A to B closings too, which makes it even better.
Right.
And I stay in contact with the girl, and she lets me know the day she sends the deed out for her recording, and she lets me know when her deed is back. So as I watch, for the clerk of the court every now and then, checking my records to see if the deed has gotten recorded, the girl at the other title company always lets me know the day she sends hers out. So then I know I can send my deed out,
right,
which is Sandy selling the property.
Yeah, and that is very, very important. But Stephanie, talk about how in the double closing nowadays, because people are used to the old ways of simultaneous closing and everything and using funds from the seller. You can't quite do that today, but can you just briefly explain that?
Yeah, well, when Sandy buys her property from the REO, she gives me all her stuff that shows that she did wire that title company their funds. And I get confirmation from the girls at the title company that they send me an email stating, yes, here's proof, here's Sandy's wire. So I've gotten it from Sandy and I've gotten it from the other title company.
Right.
So that makes me feel much better knowing that, now we can do the B2C, but all that is done in one day. So It just starts in the morning and ends later.
Basically, listen, you can make money in this business, but you have to do things by the book. You want to cover your ass. Everybody else, you want to do things right, okay? Your buyer's comfortable. You're comfortable. Everybody's covered. Title company, everybody's involved. It's good, okay? So, basically, that is it. We're not going to cover too much. Maybe next time. But I do have one funny story, though.
Not so funny.
Well, yeah, it wasn't funny at the moment. But we had this little situation where we had a closing, right, Steph?
Yeah.
And so A to B done, B to C done, everything's done. I'm waiting for my funds. And okay, next day, the day goes by, day's over. I'm waiting for my money, waiting for the money to be wired. I'm like, well, what happened? I'm calling Stephanie. Stephanie, where's my money? What's going on? You know what I mean? I feel like a mobster. Where's my money? So next day, I'm like, okay, so where's my money? So
it's still not in my account.
Still not in my account. What happened? And then so basically now Stephanie's out of town, and I'm talking to her husband, right? Okay, what is going on? I do not have this money. So me and Frank, we're on the phone, and Frank said, okay, well, I wired it to this account. And I'm like, okay, well, Sandy, before you like go off again, let's look at the account that you actually gave them. Double check. And so I'm like, okay, let me call you right back. Let me double check. But as I'm double checking, I'm for sure I gave the right information. What in the world is going on? And sure enough, I gave the freaking wrong account number. So I gave them the account number to the bank that I bought the property from. So my money now was wired to the bank.
So Sandy's proceeds that she was supposed to have went elsewhere to the bank. And
I'm freaking out.
I was having a heart attack.
And I was like, oh my gosh, for that. So now I had to call him back. I was like, okay, all right, Frank, excuse my language. I fucked up. I gave him the wrong account number. So now I've been like going off all along, right? So I'm like, I gave you the wrong account number. All right. So what do we do now? We need to get this money here ASAP. So,
yeah.
But anyway, Stephanie, she was great, even though I was a bitch.
I was home for at least 2 hours, cussing everybody out at the other banks because they were keeping Sandy's money.
But anyways, we can laugh about it now, but it really was not funny then.
No.
But anyways, everything worked out.
Double check your account information that you give when I want to wire your proceeds back out to you. Make sure you double check your wire information.
Long story short, everything worked out fine. We got the money. But anyways, this is Stephanie. She's great. And by the way, if you're new, now listen, I'm gonna be frank with you. Don't waste nobody's time. But if you're new, she's here. She will answer all your questions. She's very good with people and answering whatever questions that you need about the whole process of this thing. And if you're going to be calling her, asking her questions, please send her the business. Don't waste her time. Like, seriously, let's just be real about it, okay? Let's not sugarcoat it. But bottom line is she's awesome. I've enjoyed working with her. So, that is what it is. Until next time, we'll give you more details on how this whole process works out. How about it?
And we
closed 2 deals today.
We just closed 2 deals
And we just closed 2 deals today. All right? Mwah. See you next time.